Hi, everyone. I'm Daniel Urbach, and I'm one half of a very strange but determined duo.
And I'm Blake Baxter, the other half, the one who reminds Daniel that deadlines are real and budgets aren't just fictional enemies of creativity.
Together, we co-founded Immersive Enterprise Laboratories, or IEL, which is what we like to think of as the Willy Wonka of factory of animation. But if instead of chocolate, it was pixels and polygons. Blake and I have known each other since middle school, back when our biggest creative project was trying to hack the school computer so we could play Doom. Fast forward a few decades, now we're still at it, except now we're building an independent animation studio powered by real-time pipelines and a wild obsession for storytelling.
IEL is a studio built around one core belief. The future of storytelling isn't bound to the screen. We build for domes, live events, immersive spaces, virtual sets, Fortnite islands, you name it.
And our secret weapon is collaborating with the best in the business. That's HP, AMD, NVIDIA, Ozone Storytech, JALI Research, you name it. We're collaborating with the best in the business.
And let's kick this off with something concrete. Here's a look at Outpost, a short developed entirely using our real-time pipeline, built in Unreal, powered by HP, AMD, and NVIDIA technology.
Scanning.
Overwatch, do you copy?
Good copy. On your position in 3, 2, 1. Negative contact. All clear.
Confirmed.
Copy, Overwatch. Get eyes on vicinity Zulu Tango 242796. Await further instructions. Out.
Copy. Zulu Tango 242796.
Better move. Got a long, cold-ass hike ahead of us. Contact! North by northwest and closing.
Overwatch, return to our signal. Possible contact. Out.
Inbound.
Lock and load.
Inbound. Inbound.
This is a project that we did with Stray Vista, Fictive Media, and House of Moves to really bring motion capture and virtual production together to create something that was really envisioned by Mark Bristol, who directed the piece.
So what is our mission? It's simple. We're building new ways to tell stories faster, cheaper, and more creatively without compromising quality. That means empowering artists, directors, and even improvisers to explore stories in ways they never could before. And yes, I do mean that we can do improv, unscripted animation now.
Working in context is a philosophy that was brought to us by Mark Andrews, and we've fully embraced it. And we're going to as we go through our presentation, you'll see how we are making sure that as we develop these properties and these ideas, these stories, that our goal is to be making sure that we're working in context so we can really see what that final product's going to be at the end.
When we say non-linear, we don't just mean choose your own adventure. We mean workflows that evolve as a story evolves.
Yeah, it's about iteration, about changing a character mid-shoot, about saying, what if we need a sword talking and not having to start from scratch? Yes, we did that. Her name is Illuminara, and she's very opinionated.
And there's two heads. So this is kind of like a diagram we belovedly call the spider web. Because now what we're doing is that we're actually creating IP ecosystems which sit in the center, right? And now we can reuse all the assets across every type of media type that you want. So as you're starting to create, say, a movie, right? You make all the assets and you have everything on hand, and then you can do all your advertising in conjunction as you move forward when everything is locked in. Do social media stories, so you can have like TikTok dances with characters and things like that. Create your Fortnite island. Do live shows and concerts with holograms, and do merchandise, collectibles, all that fun, good stuff.
We're going to go through a few of our original IPs to really show why, to showcase this process that we've been developing.
To test the showcase and showcase this pipeline, we developed these two IPs. Ruby Scientific Adventure, Cosmic Science Explorer that blends STEM STEAM and music together. Yeah. And Fate or Fortune, Whims of Destiny, think D&D meets Mad Max meets Improv Night.
Both were designed for this kind of storytelling, episodic, modular, and built to break the rules.
And here's your Fate or Fortune.
Let's walk through a few examples of how we craft our stories with this nonlinear pipeline. Let's start with how we approach story development at IEL. We use everything: traditional storyboards, sticky notes, graphic novels, live improv, whatever gets the idea out fastest, so we can start testing in-engine as soon as possible. These are storyboards that were created for Outpost. This is a traditional way of creating storyboards. It's Mark Bristol works in a very traditional way. This is the blueprints that we were given to tell the story and get everyone on the same page to bring this story to life.
And then you saw it on screen.
Yeah, these are storyboards for the pilot episode of Ruby. They are actually done on sticky notes, and this is actually nonlinear storytelling with analog technology. So we can rip these story beats and throw them on the ground, create a new story out of the same beats that we created this story out of.
From rough sketches to stylized paintings, we take the visual language seriously. Here's a look at the visual development process for Outpost, Ruby, and Fate or Fortune.
Now, everything starts with an illustration. We have to make sure that everyone understands what we're trying to create. But once you have an illustration, you need to see it from different angles. We have to be able to see what those expressions are going to be, how we're going to animate it. Also, environments, we're going to have to illustrate and create schematics for what we're going to build.
There's a lot of fun stuff here, guys. So, for example, this was like a stretched out painting that was done too.
Yeah, and then character designs for Fate or Fortune. These are the beginning step of creating a character. Same thing with an environment that Blake was just at.
There you go.
And also story beats of actual story moments from the property that we're going to tell.
This was a fun one from the title card.
Work in context is a Mark Andrews philosophy we embrace. Don't build assets in a vacuum, block it out, stage it in Unreal, walk through it, feel the world before you make it pretty. That's why Unreal is our single source of truth. Now that we have an idea of what we need to create to tell the story we've envisioned, we can now start to integrating assets into 3D. This is what we mean by working in context.
That truth only works if your tools talk to each other. With Omniverse, Maya, Substance Painter, and Unreal, all are synced in real time.
And with the AMD Threadripper Pro, NVIDIA RTX A6000, we can run it all simultaneously, even render in 4K.
So this is in modeling now.
Yeah, so
Lots of notes.
We're constantly iterating on top of the 3D characters. So if you go back to the last slide.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
Yeah, so we sculpt, and then we draw on top of the sculptures to note what needs to be changed. That's what we mean by working in context, because we're actually going to design the 3D character. That's what we're going to see in our final animation. So there's a lot of notes that go in through this process.
More notes.
Yeah. And then that allows us to kind of polish this gem.
Here's final.
And then color is added. And this allows us, well, we're going to go through. So same thing with Barbarian from Fate or Fortune. This is one of the early designs of Barbarian. You can see his proportions are very different than what you're going to see later on. We go on top of all of the 3D sculpts, illustrate, modify them, and then go back into ZBrush and sculpt them until we get to that final result that we need.
Pay no attention to the bug eyes.
And also, working in context is not sculpting and creating a character in a T-pose. We will create, like if you saw the images of the sculptures of Ruby, she's actually in a gesture. And that's because that's what we're going to see the character moving around in the final result of the TV show or movie or video game, where a T-pose is very out of context. That's something that we are putting it into that pose to rig. Building character, Ozone Story Tech has actually been a game changer for us. Here is Ruby, our first Ozone rigged character. And the great thing about Ozone Story Tech is, one, it has live subdivisions in Unreal Engine. It's the only rigging system that actually has that. And the way that we are moving the face and the deformation of the character is actually by deforming the vertex geometry, not by leaning into blend shapes and bones. This is Barbarian. He's a big boy with big feelings. And here's some examples of Ozone in action. So I don't know of another rigging system that can actually give you these types of results. For a character like Bob that has these type of three-dimensional forms, to be able to move them around and not have the character break is pretty amazing. And I don't think that we would be able to create a property like Fate or Fortune with a character like Barbarian without being able to use Ozone. And so these are just examples of going through the rigging process and making sure that he actually functions when we go into live performance capture. Really, like as we're going through the rigging process, we're going to see all the things that break, and then we need to polish them and get them up and running so that we have a final a feature quality character that can be brought into any type of project.
Here's some calisthenics.
This is a Luminara. This is the two-headed talking sword. So there's actually two face rigs on this sword. Yeah, so this is you'll see it in action later on, but a Luminara is really, I think, a first of its kind, where she is a prop that's going to be carried around by Barbarian, but she's also a fully rigged two-headed character with the two faces are not mirroring each other, they're independent, so they can actually argue with each other. This is a short video showing the rigging process of bringing the space dragon to life. And we can thank Brad Clark for all his amazing work.
He's right here in the audience.
Yeah, with this you can see like a sped up version of the Ozone rigging process. And he'll be getting into adding weights and so now he's starting to add the skin weights. And the great thing about Ozone is we rig once and we deploy to any platform that we need.
It's been extremely beneficial to be able to see what it looks like in real time with an actor performing it, moving it around exactly the way it looks and feels.
We can go ahead.
Facial animation. JALI Research gives us real-time audio, audio-driven lip sync with emotional nuance.
And for Ruby's face, we collaborated with Respeecher to synthesize a one-of-a-kind vocal performance. Yes, Ruby is a Stardust-born AI-voiced adventurer. Welcome to the future.
Greetings, fellow explorers of the cosmos.
Je m'appelle Ruby. Salut. Et vous êtes ravi de vous rencontrer. Si su nombre es Ruby, me refiero a mí yo. Soy Ruby. Hola. つまり、私はじめまして。Ruby よ、あなたはお会いできて嬉しいわ。
Me, I'm Ruby. Hi. And you are?
Barbarian. And I got
This is Barbarian.
into this dungeon.
And this is a quick
Somebody said there would be snacks.
experiment test that we did at GDC. This was all done on the floor.
Specifically.
So it's using a law of that's why you hear the background noise, guys.
Yeah.
It wasn't done in a booth.
Oh, I think I had some bad fish last night.
Yeah, so we had a live motion capture. We had a motion capture performing the body live, and we had Mark Andrews doing the voice. We recorded the voice directly into Unreal Engine. Once we had the voice performance, we processed it with JALI Research technology, and that allowed us to have a walking, talking character
Check this out.
within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Watch my fancy hips.
And also for a reference too, Bob the Barbarian is about a 6'4" character, and the performer was a 5'1". It's Moira Roush who is performing it. So you can kind of see the translation of the body size into it, and it's wonderful. So
Process that.
here's some more.
Dancing I learned at the tavern last night from a hot gnome. I didn't think I was going to be attracted to a gnome, but
Yeah.
there she was. She taught me all these moves. It took me an hour and several.
Again, here's that
hours
improv
to
animation that
get
you're
down
seeing
and
right in
several
front of you.
pints. Check this move out. This I needed to get into the heavy stuff to learn. Oh boy, I'm so bored. It was tiring. It was so tiring. Oh, I got to stretch. I didn't do my morning stretches today. Yes, do the lats. Get my side. Can I touch my toes? Whew.
And then after this, if we wanted to animate it, we can go over it and actually, and we're using real animators to do animation process, yeah?
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
Here's a test that we did with
barely
JALI
knew her.
Research to
You lied to me and
get
I'll be
Illuminara
charged
up and
in front of
running.
a grand jury before
So you can see the left and
touch
right,
the ground.
on the right, of course.
I don't remember.
You're lying, Tiernan. You've been fighting with her. And
I'm not lying. She got up and left. That was it.
she bought you a quart of whiskey to make it up to you. She told the liquor store owner. You're in deep trouble, buddy.
She said she loved me. She wanted to care for me. But she would never stop talking about McCaffrey. McCaffrey was a writer. McCaffrey was a hero. McCaffrey cared for the little guy.
Did you kill her, Tiernan?
Here's a quick video kind of showcasing how the JALI Research technology actually works. It allows us to go and add audio into the system, and we can actually direct the performances of the character based on our needs for our storytelling.
And here's expressive, it's theatrical.
Now I see it. Fantastic. Now I see it.
So you're actually directing the 3D characters as you're going through this process. And once you are able to refine that performance that you need for your story, every set of audio that you push through the system should understand how you need the character to perform.
Fantastic. Now I see it. Fantastic. Now I see it. Overwatch, do you copy? Overwatch, do you copy? Surveillance, tu me reçois.
Yeah, and the great thing about JALI Research is that we can apply this to any character, whether it's human or a space dragon or a talking trash can.
And with the different languages too, what you're able to get now is no more lip flap that happens, and you can make actually localized content.
记忆听到了吗?
So here's another test. You might notice what it's from. No. And also, this dragon was never actually supposed to be talking initially, and we got it talking.
His foul purpose some time ago. But it matters not. Oakenshields quest will fail. The darkness is coming. It will spread to every corner of the land. You are being used, thief in the shadows. You were only ever a means to an end. The coward Oakenshield has weighed the value of your life and found it worth nothing. I am almost tempted to let you take it, if only to see Oakenshield suffer. Watch it destroy him. Watch it corrupt his heart and drive him mad. But I think not. I think our little game ends here. So tell me, thief, how do you choose to die?
To bring all this together, we work with House of Moves, capturing full body performances with mocap, Ozone rigs, and JALI 4 faces. Here's Ruby in action performing live, processed in real time.
Greetings, fellow explorers of the cosmos. Imagine, if you dare, a traveler from another dimension, bound not by time nor space, but driven by an insatiable curiosity for the universally inexplicable. Now imagine that same intrepid traveler has crossed the vast cosmic ocean, not just to observe, explore, and understand, but also to find a way back home. And then imagine, if you still have the capacity for more imagining, that this mind-blowingly epic being, made up of stardust, is standing right in front of you. And imagine her name is Zorloft. Kidding. Her name is Ruby. I mean me. I'm Ruby. Hi. And you are? Nice to meet you. You're probably wondering why I'm here. Heck, even I'm wondering why I ended up here. On Earth. Not here in front of you. Although that question begs an answer too. But are any of us really here? What is here? Ruby, get existential another time. We have samples to take. Is everyone's skin unmelted? Last time my multi-dimensional scanner overloaded like that, it was, well, let's just say we didn't have enough Band-Aids. Anyone out there have their own personal electronic devices? Hold them up if you do. Whoa, that's quite the collection. Yeah, that's what could have caused the glitch in my MD scanner, but I think I've calibrated it correctly. Just let me know if you feel any skin sliding or gloopiness or anything of that nature. My multi-dimensional scanner helps me understand everything from quantum fluctuations to the latest Earth viral dance moves. You'd be surprised how often those two coincide. So, I'm a scientist, right? That wasn't a question. I am a scientist. So naturally, I ask a lot of questions. I'm also an explorer, data collector, karaoke supernova, lover of all things weird, unexplained, shiny, etc., which in Latin means, and the rest. So basically, I'm interested in everything, which is a lot. In this infinitely interesting universe, it's so easy to get distracted. And some people on Earth say, keep your eye on the prize, or on the ball, which is an even better metaphor if your prize actually pertains to balls. But I'm more like, leave no stone unturned. Because if you explore it all, that means you can get the prize, the balls, the stones, and all the rest. You see, when I'm on a fascinating journey, oh, I love your shirt, with a single mission on my mind, it reminds me of my grandma. I don't want to let my brain deter me from a new and unexpected find. There's a world of treasures we can explore. Take your favorite focus, but don't forget there's so Oh, are you sure your face looked like that before? I'll take your word for it. Okay, I think I have all the samples I need here. I will say, this group of Earth beings are oddly calm. There's usually a lot more screaming and running around after I bust out of an interdimensional portal. It's actually kind of weirding me out a bit. You really should be more cautious next time something like this happens. Yep. Anyway, I'm gonna go and analyze my results now. Whereabouts did I explode out of when I got here? Oh, right! This way! Of course. You know, the best part of getting lost along the way is that you may learn things you didn't even know you needed to know. You know? You know.
And that was all live. That was all done live and one take, one cut, and all that fun stuff. We shot Outpost on a virtual production while at Stray Vista in Austin, directed by Mark Bristol. And here's a peek behind the curtain. This is quite amazing because we were able to actually use the virtual production wall in the animation process. You know, usually it's just for live action.
Demo that we're doing here today at Stray Vista in concert with the amazing House of Moods. It's the very first of its kind of marrying the incredible technology of motion capture, performance capture, with a VP production.
There's a connective tissue to these technologies that once you see them all together, the parts are bigger than the whole. Like all of it comes down and it's really solid.
This is a collaboration that we at House of Moves have been envisioning for a few years.
Our eye lines now match. So that means that we don't have to try to fix that as much in post.
At Stray Vista, we're showing people the true possibilities with iteration, where you're not throwing it out every single time that you have to make a change. You can literally just change on the fly.
When we're working together, we're able to bring in our game development expertise on a feature animation style shoot with live action and virtual production all happening at once.
This is how we would run production. Give us what you've got in engine, we'll take care of the rest.
We're in a world where technology is evolving like crazy.
We're prototyping new tools as we go. It didn't exist yesterday, but it's going to exist tomorrow.
So that we can have an agnostic pipeline of all these disparate technologies, and it all flows together to create great products. The future really is, can I give one artist the power to do the work of 5 or 10 artists?
Combining mocap with virtual wall and a bunch of other leading edge technologies. It's amazing what we're able to do to advance production earlier and lower the back-end costs.
And so what was great about that too, right, is that you hear so many actors talking about when they're doing performances and things like that, and because it's using mocap, we're using actual actors, right? And so they don't have to act to a green screen, there's no tennis ball, they're actually getting full line of sight. So what you saw there for a brief moment was actually a wall on the floor, so a floor, of course, but you were giving the monster character, right, that's 40 feet tall, and you saw it in not even fully done yet, right? So you can use proxy assets and move and flow and get the story going, and then also refine that and replace that whenever you need to later on, right? Because you're just switching them in and out. So then all of a sudden you're getting line of sight, and then that ceiling that you see above there, and that's actually the monster's head kind of there, where he's actually looking down at them. They're getting direct line of sight so that it has a performative aspect that is then occurring, and you're getting that feeling, that emotion there in the animation.
Non-linear storytelling of Fate or Fortune Fate or Fortune is actually an unscripted animation project.
Hi, I'm Daniel Urbach from Immersive Enterprise Laboratories. We're here at the House of Move stage on the Jim Henson lot. And let me just walk you through some of the technology that we're using today for all the crazy stuff that we're doing. So this is all the Jim Henson puppet system that allows us to drive 3D characters live. We're using Ozone StoryTech rigs to deform the 3D characters, but using the Jim Henson technology allows us to actually move these characters live. And then all of this would be translated to the stage and the environment that we're using for whatever production. And then you can see like this allows us to move the eyes and we can fly the guy around, you know, where this is actually a virtual camera. And this is designed very much like a broadcast television camera. So like if you were gonna do like a multi-camera shoot for a sitcom, this is what we would use. So it allows us to like push cameras very smoothly through scenes, where Mark is actually using the camera that's sitting out there on the stage, and that's much more of like a handheld camera that he's able to run around freely in the 3D space with the actor.
Mocap speed.
This one.
Rolling.
And product set.
This is an example of what we did with Mark. We brought in Darren Ross's stunt team, plus 2 performers, Mark Andrews personally cast for live improv. Here's a look at Fate or Fortune, part fantasy battle, part improv theater, part animated chaos.
And what you're seeing is how the sausage is made, right? So this is raw, this is straight in the engine, there's camera shake, there's all these things that are going on, but you're actually able to then get all these cuts, all these takes and everything that come out of it, and know instantly what the mood and the feel of the piece is entirely looking like, right? Lighting, atmosphere is all in there.
Yeah, and that's the Jim Henson character, Char. They were kind enough to loan him up for this production. So here's a peek behind the curtain.
So as you can see where the VCam operator is, that's Peel Dev right there. And he's moving it around, and you can see that in the lower right.
Well, there's the sarcophagus. I was just letting myself in. They're not real. They're real. They're most definitely real. Pause. Let's go back to point.
So you can make any edit, anything that he wants to change is just instantaneously right there.
Come on, you Stone Temple pilots. Let's dance.
And you can see there's, you know, things that, you know, glitch in the sword and things like that. That's why we go in and polish it later on, but you're still getting everything instantaneously right in front of you. Mm-hmm. And on this stage too, there's reference cameras, obviously that are getting this, but also monitors that are able to then see what is happening, right? So we can use that virtual production wall to put someone inside of the world, right? Or they're just getting the instant reference, so they're feeling and understanding what their character is looking like.
Yeah, and you can see Mark running around there interacting with the different performers. He is creating the story live in real time, and as he sees them perform and come up with different ideas, he reacts to it and comes up with ideas himself. And the whole thing evolves through the day.
And what's crazy about this is like these performers are having a ball. You know, when this was going on, like we had a bunch of guests that were on stage, and they were all seeing what was happening, and they're like, we've never seen this happen and this happening for animation, but also just the excitement of the buzz of the playfulness that is occurring along with it, which also just elevates that story, that mood of everything that's happening.
Come on, I'm right here.
So this is made up on the fly, right? These stone soldiers, right? They're now moving in slow motion.
Yeah, and that was just a random thought that they came up with in a moment where like, well, what if the stone guards just move really slow?
Well, I think it's because they're magical beings, and since I am a magical being, we are canceling each other's power out.
Well, so slowly I should be able to defeat them.
Listen, I can hold them back. You go and open the sarcophagus. Go. I've got this.
Yeah, and when we're shooting with the performers, we're really just focused on performance. We have a virtual camera operator there to just capture what's happening. But we will come back another day and actually shoot virtual camera to get all of the coverage. And that's really what we mean by non-linear. We're not storyboarding for this. There is no script. We come up with it on the stage. Then we're going to shoot coverage like a live action film and edit it like a live action. We're going to find the story in the edit.
Yeah, and what's interesting about that, right? It's like a typical live action, right? Actors go home. This is now always, essentially, unless a drive fails, right? Have redundancies. But basically, you're always going to have this data and information, so you can always reshoot, do different cuts, do different stories, right? You find the story in the cut and the edit and post and everything like that. And so now this is where we're going with it.
Yeah, so this is what it looks like in Unreal. You can see this is one of the performances that we just saw.
Come on, you Stone Temple pilot! Let's dance! I will use all of my skills to defeat you! Why are you moving so slowly? Go back to the thing. Oh, you already just go. Don't walk here. Oh, okay. Let those attacks happen.
And you can see all of these are the different performances that we were able to get that day. So here's another performance of Char.
Sorry, the performer was having so much fun with this. It was really getting good. I don't know if you guys saw it, but during the fight scene, she wasn't in the camera frame at all, right? But she's like throwing punches, like imitating, like, you know, like doing a fight, right? So there's randomness that can happen outside of that screen. And then again, you can get more of a story that comes with it.
Mm-hmm. So once we have all the performances, we actually need to shoot coverage. One of the cool things that we did when we shot coverage, we actually triggered two computers so we could shoot with two virtual cameras simultaneously that mirrored the same project. That's great because it allows us to double the amount of coverage we're getting each day.
So now you can get about like 1,000 pickups a day, right? And that's a lot of information that you're going to be processing through as well.
Yeah, and so this is not the most exciting process, so we sped it up for you. So we're just going through those performances and just really creating little snippets of things that we need, that we're creating ingredients to make a meal.
And different than live action, right? You know, you have to always stay out of camera and everything like that, but you can have literally two cameras facing at the same time, so there's no interference at all that's happening. It's pretty crazy. We have a lot of ability with the technology and hardware that we have. I think that's my shooting.
Yeah, and that's sped up.
I think I was answering emails right then.
I would just jump it.
Yeah.
These are all the performances, and then underneath the performances, you're seeing these are the actual. This is the coverage that we shot when we were shooting the virtual cameras.
Again, tons and tons and tons.
So here's a little snippet of a piece of coverage that we shot.
Rolling. Action. Where is the eye of the king?
What? You mean the most powerful magical item in the known universe? I don't know.
Or if we go to a different take, you can see this is the same take. It's the same performance, but a different.
Where is the eye of the king?
What? You mean the most powerful magical item in the known universe?
It really allows us to dial in the story we're trying to tell and really lean into the happy accidents that we discover along the way.
And it makes it great, right? Because it makes mistakes very inexpensive. So you can make all those experiments. It's not going to be $1 million. It's not going to be, you know, creative if they know that they're in the back of their head. If they make this wrong move, it's going to be so catastrophic and expensive to what they're doing. But if you tell them it's a few $100, they're like, oh, it opens up their mind for creativity. They get to just play it, right? And that's what all creatives want to do.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to the next slide.
Yeah.
So how do we edit the coverage? This can be done in Unreal Engine. What we like to do is actually export all the coverage to Adobe Premiere Pro. That allows us to edit it with the editing process that our editor is comfortable with. Then we can export an EDL file from Adobe Premiere Pro into Unreal Engine, and it automatically syncs the sequence with all of our coverage in it. Another thing that we're experimenting with
is Quickture. It's AI-assisted editing tool that sorts, tags, and assembles the shots. Think of it as like supercharged assistant editor that never sleeps and always wants feedback.
Yeah, so here's a sneak peek of Fader Fortune. This is a cut that Mark Andrews put together. And this is a nonlinear, real-time animated workflow available to creatives today.
And this has not been polished, right? But this is that entire take, and this is where the story is.
What sort of underworld hell did they send us through this time?
This is definitely not an underworld hell. If it were, we'd be surrounded by fiends.
And again, you can continue to refine the assets so you're moving in conjunction so multiple teams can be working all together.
Frog! A pig?
It is clearly a pig frog.
Frog pig!
Pig frog.
Frog pig! Oh, enough of this! Frog pig! Where is the eye of the king?
Nice to meet you too, but I see you don't stand on ceremony.
Oh, so lovely to meet you. May I introduce myself? I am Luminara, the magnificent enchanted sword, and I was carved from diamonds and minerals deep at the earth's core. And this is
Bob! Where's the eye of the king?
What? You mean the most powerful magical item in the known universe? I don't know. The things I do know, the king is dead, so you can't take it up with him. And you might as well take it up with these fine gentlemen over here.
These little stone temple pilots? Come on! I can see that they're not even real. Oh, they're real! What do we do now, Sword?
Well, it is obvious that the eye of the king must be in that sarcophagus. You must get through and go get it.
Well, fine, if you Stone Temple pilots want to battle, here I am! Let's go, you Stone Temple pilots! Why are you moving so slowly? I thought this would be a battle! What is happening with you guys? Come on! Why aren't you working, Luminara? What is happening with you?
They must have magical properties, as I have magical properties. And we are canceling each other out with our magical properties.
We've got to get to the sarcophagus!
I will fend them off.
Fine, you hold them off and I'll get in them myself.
Watch how easy it is for me to hold them off. You see how I'm doing it? They're barely moving.
You don't have a body to defend.
You literally are made of muscle. That is your only function. Why is this opening?
I give up. He's dead. And I am dead tired.
No. We must get this open. Here's my plan. Get up on top of it. Lie down.
And as you can tell, the audio is actually from the stage, right? Now we can then go in the voiceover booth, right, and have them actually perform it, so it's nice and crystal clear.
You mean you've been guarding this box for centuries? And it's empty? Why were you trying to kill me?
Who was last seen in here?
What?
Improv. Where is the eye of the king?
That's Queen Pigfrog to you. That's right. I used to be queen of this kingdom until my idiot husband was going to lose the whole thing, so I had to kill him. And then when I came down to get the magic eye, it turned me into this. I used to be beautiful.
Beauty is on the inside. I've heard that's what's truly important.
All right, if it's inside her, I'm gonna cut it out of her.
No, you won't. Where are you keeping it exactly?
Well, there were so many people trying to look for it that I stuffed it up one of my offices.
Pardon me. Did you say orifices?
What's orifice?
and I'll let you guess which one. Nothing, man. No. This is a job for the ladies.
And we're just getting started. Our final animation phase takes all this work and polishes it to the finish line.
But more importantly, our process keeps the door open to iteration, to collaboration, to imagination. And now, so now what we're going to do is actually show you Bob the Barbarian character. This is actually from GDC on the floor. You're going to see wonderful Moira performing Bob right there in front of you.
Yeah, and this is an example of how we're able to take the character that we created for a linear TV show, and we'll be able to take the character and bring it into location-based events, video games. It goes back to that building that ecosystem around our IP. So let's bring it full circle. Why are we doing this? Because the old way of making animation is too slow, too expensive, and too limiting. We want directors to explore. We want artists to surprise themselves, and we want stories to evolve on the fly.
And we want to build a studio where all of that is possible. That is what IEL is, a creative playground powered by technology.
If you're a creator, a producer, a technologist, you want to make something with us. Find us, talk to us. We're here all week, geeking out over our workstations and our warp drives.
And speaking of, everything you've seen today was developed on this absolute monster of a machine that's there at the booth. Come see us at the HP booth, by the way.
Yeah, HP Z workstations. We love them. We stress them. We sometimes name them. More stability is really key. This allows us to be confident during productions. We aren't burning precious time with crashes. Another thing is with the Z workstation, the AMD Threadripper Pro and the RTX Pro 6000, this allows us to have increased frame rate on our software opens quicker. It allows us to get back up and running faster. We have more memory, so it allows us to build bigger worlds on a level that we can't build without this type of technology. And when you're working in production, you don't want your system to crash.
And you know things are going to crash, right? It's inevitable, right? It's bleeding edge technology that we're working with, so that happens. So if we're able to actually cut that time in, not even in half, we're actually we were doing some measurements of it. It's about a quarter to a fifth of what it would be on some previous machines that we were benchmarking it against. And we were just blown away because that means it's saving money and time, right? You're on stage, you only have it for that little blip of time, however long that you're going to be there. And being able to just be like, boom, it's going back up and running. And it was literally 10 to 20, 30 seconds about.
Yeah, it really will be the difference between hitting a deadline and not being able to hit your deadline.
Yeah, it was minutes before. Mm-hmm. And we really wanted to really say thank you, right, to HP, to AMD, and to NVIDIA for enabling us to do what we do, because really without it, we wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, HP Z workstations, they're amazing.
And also just a huge thank you to all our partners, Mark Andrews, House of Moves, Ozone Storytech, JALI Research, Stray Vista, Fictive Media, Sense Labs, Peel Dev, Jim Henson, Creature Shop, and all the other amazing collaborators helping us build this new way to tell stories.
Yeah, we're Immersive Enterprise Laboratories, and we believe the future of storytelling is immersive, improvisational, and impossible to predict.
Now get out there and let's make something weird.